ain't this thing a little mud ball? These are never fun in the rain. Now I gotta give this thing a bath. So I wanted to jump on here today and give y'all a trapper's tip on how to set your line up for changing weather patterns. Now it's very easy to go out here and trap in the early fall when the weather's all nice and we don't have much rain and freezing, but that's not real trapping. Real trapping later on in the season, late in the season, the weather starts really playing havoc on us. So we have to be thinking about that when we set these lines up. Once I set a line up early in the fall, those traps will be there all the way through the 1st of March. So I don't want my traps being underwater, and I don't want dirt holes being filled up with water. So when I set my line up, I have to be thinking about later on in the year and what it's going to be like when wet weather or even freezing weather comes to East Tennessee. Now East Tennessee is very famous for having changing weather patterns. Every 2 or 3 days it changes, and we're set up on a good one right now. So it's raining today, clearing out tonight, clear tomorrow morning, and then rain again tomorrow night all the way through Wednesday. So if I didn't think about this, I would be having to do a whole lot more work after the weather changes and it's nice and sunny again and drying out, and I would probably be missing some animals. So I don't depend on dirt holes 100%. They're good, they have their place, but I don't depend on them. I like flat sets, protected sets using rocks, logs, cubbies. Sometimes just a freestanding tree even can be a good lure post. So right here is one of our dirt holes that we have. And remember, I'm trapping out here in these big woods and these mountains, so it's a little different than farm country. So we use leaves for our trap covering a lot of times. We also use it to protect the dirt holes. So right here's one of our dirt holes. You can see I'm way up here high on a ridge, so I don't have to worry about the rain and the water collecting down in the bottoms. So our dirt hole is here. Our actual trap is right here. Now this trap's been in the ground now for about a week and a half. So you can see it's weathering pretty well. Dirt's not packing in under the trap pan. And we have a little bit of leaves on here just to help shed water, and some very good blending and covering in for the terrain. Over here on the other side is one of our post sets, or protected sets I'm using on a projected post. So lures back here under the post, and then right here is my trap. So again, you can kind of see the trap pattern and how it is, and then a little bit of leaves on top of it blends it all in. Now I also don't like using a lot of earth anchors, because when you start running a whole lot of traps, driving earth anchors every single day or for a long time, if you're putting out 100 traps in a day, a 4-pound sledgehammer will wear your arms out. So we typically like using long chains just like the old-fashioned way. It's simply just wrapped around the tree and called good. And same with this one over here, long chain around it. What that also does is we don't have to worry about them working that earth anchor out of the dirt when it gets soaking wet. That tree ain't going nowhere. Now, we have caught a lot of bobcat off of that maple tree right there. Right here's the little trail going through the woods. We have a trap on one side, trap on the other. East Tennessee, here in these mountains, we don't have prevailing wind. We have changing, swirling winds constantly every single day. It never stays the same. So we set our traps up accordingly. To whichever side that wind's blowing, there's a trap and some sort of bait and lure. So I thought I'd get on here, give that little tip out there to some of you trappers, and let the rest of the world see that it ain't always sunshine and rainbows out here on the trapping line. A lot of times it's just cold, wet, and miserable. However, if you're a trapper, you still love getting out here. So until next time, I'll talk to you all later. And remember, God is good.